Okay, so today we are going to learn the topic class. So for that purpose, you have already a package is there, com.org Java. Yesterday I've told you about the package also, that what is the purpose of package and how you can create the package. Okay, so just put your cursor on the package and then you can click new and you can click on the class. So whenever you create a class, what is happening here, you just give any random name for that. Like mostly happen that, suppose take the example, Aman is creating a class. Aman usually prefer to give his own name. Like Shikha is trying to create a class. Shikha try to create the name of the class like using her own name. So actually you can say for once you understand what is the actual meaning of the class, after that you can choose any name. But whenever you are understanding or whenever you are trying to understand that what is class, you should have you should take a meaningful name. So here I'm just creating just keeping a meaningful name, student, and then I will tell you what is the purpose why I'm taking the class name as a student. Or I just given the name of a student, and now this time I'm not you can say taking any public static void main. Okay, I'm just giving the name student, and let me click on finish here. Okay, so I've created the class with the name of a student. Now the question is that why I've taken the name of student. Okay, so what is the reason behind that? So for that purpose, you have to understand the definition of a class. Anybody know what is the definition of a class? Whatever you know that, and don't hesitate if you know something wrong, right? It doesn't matter. Reason is that whenever you are, it is something like a debate. Okay, don't think about that it is a one-way communication. It is a two-way communication. At any point of time, if you feel any problem, you can ping. Anybody want to try? What is class? Whatever you know that, just put in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pradeep. Class is just like a blueprint.
Yes, so let me mark this thing is class is a blueprint. Very good. Anyone else? One point is class is a blueprint. Anybody else?
Class is a group of objective where the common property.
Very good. Class is, you can say class is a group of objects. Very good. And we can say having similar or same properties, right?
Right.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So now let me make one more point here. Maybe you have not heard about this point, but I will clear this third point. Once you will be complete through 3 sessions, then I will come to this point. And that is class is a custom data type. I don't know whether you have a few of you guys have already aware about that. Class is a custom data type. So first of all, we will talk about the two important things, that class is a blueprint and class is a group of objects having similar properties. Okay. So for that purpose, first of all, understand class is a group of objects having same properties. It means everybody know group means collection. Group means collection. Now the two things coming into the definition. Group means a collection, that is, but what type of collection of objects? Collection of objects having similar or same properties. Now the two things should be clear to understand the definition of class, that is what is object and what is property. So anybody know that what is object? Don't tell me in terms of, you can say Java, you can tell me from the real perspective also, because Java is a real world language. That's why we say that Java is a object oriented programming language, because objects are related to the real world. So you will see that each and every topic in Java, it is directly related to the real world concepts. And I will suggest that whenever you are going to face the interview, try to give the real examples. And trust me, if you are giving the real example, he will really understand that you not only know about the Java, you know it actually what is the purpose of programming language. Okay, so anybody know that? You can tell me what is object in this word? Anybody?
Uh, just like car is object.
Okay, you can say car is object. So in simple words, yeah, excellent, clapping for you. Excellent. So here you can say that everything in this world is a object. Everything. You are a object, I'm an object. Plant is object, pen is object, pencil object. Everything which is surrounded by you, that is actually everything is a object. I can give you the funny example for that, and then you will understand that really that is the fact or not. I don't know whether you have guys watched a movie that is called Munna Bhai MBBS. That was the part one. Anybody have watched that movie?
Yes, Pradeep.
If you
Yes,
focus
Pradeep.
on that movie, you will see that the whole movie was actually based on a based on a person who was in the coma, right? And you can say in that same movie, there was a doctor, there was a you can say dean of that hospital, and the role was played by Womain Irani. And you know that every time whenever the Womain Irani was try to point that patient, he don't use the name of that person. He use always a term that is called subject is not working, object is not working. Are you getting my point? Because in science you can say we are a human being, some non-living things are there, like pen, pencil, everything, whatever in this world. First of all, everything is an object. Then on the basis of that properties of that object, we decide whether it will come under the human, it will come under the you can say animal, it will come under the object, like it will come under the cars. So that is the properties of a object, but everything is an object. Are you getting my point?
Yes, Pradeep.
So, for
Yes,
example, you can say human being has a property, like every human being has a name, every human being has a age, every human being has a color. So these are the property of a human being. Same way, you can say we have a property. Every human being, every other type of like pen has a property that it do not have any life. It has a color, right? It is a property like shape, right? It is a property of type of pen, like it is a ball pen, it is fountain pen. So in simple word, you can say everything in this world is a object, and then every object have a properties. When we try to make a group of objects which have the same property, that group is also known as class. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes,
So
Pradeep.
now here you will
yes,
see that why I've taken the name student here. So actually using the class, using the structure of this class, I will tell you that it is also known as blueprint. But first understand, using the structure of this class, student, I am actually trying to present a group in this real world which contains similar property. So can anybody tell me in this world, every student, what type of property every student should have? Can I say that student ID or roll number? Yes or no?
Name.
Yes, very good. So every student, you know that in this world, it doesn't matter. He's a student of, you can say class 10th, he's a student of nursery, but we are trying to try to create a group of students, trying to create a group of students. So every student should have a property, student roll number, student name, yes or no? And every student should be a part of a, or you can say school, or you can say institute. So I can say student school, yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So in this way, you can actually use with the help of this class, with the help of whenever you create a class student, now you are trying to define the group, like what is the criteria of this group, what type of object, which object will come or presented by this group. So I will say that currently student will present all of the object of a it will present a group of all the objects which contains the property student roll number, student name, student school, and same way student age, and same way you can give so many properties are here. Yes or no?
Yes, Pradeep.
So
Yes, Pradeep.
now you can say in this whole world, now we segregated the few objects. In the same way, let me create another example. So I'm going to create another, and trust me, I know that I can feel that you are getting the point, class. That's why you will give me the name of the property for this group, and I'm going to create a group that is called employee.
Employee.
And I'm hope everybody will try to participate and tell me the properties. Employee.
Employee ID.
Very good. Now you can say that we have created two group. A student group is different and employee group is different. The person who has a student roll number, that will come under the group of student, and the person who has employee ID, that he will come under the group of employee. Yes or no?
Yes.
yes,
So now if you talk about the employee, what are the other properties? Employee name. Now you can say that employee name always will have a property with the employee. Employee name doesn't, you can say, related to the student, because student has a separate property. Student name is separate. Employee name is separate. Other properties, your favorite property is that employee
Email.
salary.
employee salary.
Yes, this is your favorite property. You can say that don't give me ID, don't give me name, don't give me anything, don't give me designation, but try to give me the salary. If you're giving a good salary, I'm not concerned about the other properties. But for trying to create a group, you can say that employee ID is a property, employee name is a property, employee salary is a property. Now, if you are satisfied with the salary, then you concerned about the other property, designation. And that is the fact. Yes or no? Or somebody says that, no, give me the designation, don't give me the salary. Okay. So now another important property, employee company. Because if you are employee, definitely you are connected with the company. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now you can understand the concept of class, that class in the Java is actually presented. It is used to present a group from the real world. And now you can see I have created two groups. Like one student group is that has separate property. So let me do one thing. Let me detach these two files so that you can watch it parallelly and you can understand the things. So this is my one class that is called student. Let me keep it here and let me detach from here so that you can watch it parallelly. Okay, now this one. So now I hope you are able to see these classes, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
And I can create another class because somebody has told me, Pradeep, there is a, you can say object of a, you can say car. So we can treat car is actually not an object. You can treat car as a group. Yes or no?
Group.
Yes, I
Yes.
can tell you how. Because let me do one thing. Let me detach this one also so that you can say, I want to show you everything parallelly and everything with the real example. Now you can say, actually, car is not a object. Car is a group which is presenting that car. You can say car have different type of property. I can say that, for example, very important, which is very important for
Brand.
brand. Dekho, everybody know that because we know that somebody is going to buy a car. He will concern about that. Oh, I will take BMW. Yeah, so the reason is that because you are concerned about the brand. So these are actually, any car come into the market without any brand, that is possible? No.
No.
So that is the first property of a car. It means we are trying to create a group of cars, so it should have the property brand name. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now you can say that second property is that you can say
Model
in
number.
model number. Excellent. Model number. Now you can say this is the thing that you are getting the point. Now you are just trying to give me the property model number, and you can say that engine type. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because you know that cars also comes in so variant, like you can say now previously we have the petrol car, engine car. Now we have, you can say electric car also. Okay, so we have so many. You can say the engine type. Again, you can say in engine type also we have the so many variations, like K type engine, K series engine, so many. So actually I'm just trying to give the examples, like car can have the property brand name, model name, engine type. And you know that color is also important property, because once you are, while buying the car, whatever is the color of that color, you can say car, that you cannot change it without the permission of the government. I don't know about the other countries, but in India, if suppose take the example, you have bought a car in white color, and if you want to change the color, it is not easy, right? So color is the property which is very, very mandatory. Okay, so now you can say, and what is the property, other property of the car? You can say car, brand name, model, engine type, color, and
The,
Body type.
body type, seat
yeah.
size. Yes or no?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. So you can say seat size. So actually, I'm not going into very, very detail of that, but simply you understand that everything in this world is a object. You are object, me are object. I have given the example of Munna Bhai MBBS. That science also says that everything is a subject and everything is an object. When we define the property, then we try to put it in a particular group. Like whenever we have a property, oh, it is taking the object is taking the breath. He can move, he can eat, he can walk. Maybe he can come under the group of human. Yes or no? Okay, so now the properties between the human and animals are, most of the properties are common, but few properties are very, very different. So actually you can say, you can segregate the objects on the basis of the properties. This is clear?
Yes. Pradeep.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So now in this way, actually, and now I'm going to give the example from the IT world also. Anybody know that if you are designing, if your architect, if your architecture is defining your project, if he is defining the project, you know that what is the first step? He designed the application first, or he designed the database first. Anybody know that? Anybody know that? No. Now,
Application first.
no. First of all, in the application, you can say application in the, he don't design the UI. First of all, he designed the database. Because what is the purpose of the application? In the application, actually, you want to store the data. You want to manipulate the data. Yes or no?
Yes.
So suppose take the example. There is Amazon. Okay, you can take the example of banking website. First of all, what is the main purpose of that? So that they can register the user, they can identify the user, they can make the transaction for the user, they can deposit your amount. So actually, where these things are going to be stored in a proper structure, in a proper database, yes or no? So once database is designed, then trust me, they design other part of the UI, that how we can capture the data in the application. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
For example, your architecture is saying that in my login, usually people take the example of username and password, but sometime you will see that sometime in some application, you try to capture the captcha also. Sometimes you try to capture some unique code also. Sometimes you try to capture some OTP also. So you can say login page, how the login page will be, you can say designed, that is totally depend that how and which type of data you want to capture, you want to store it. Yes or no? In your table, you have a username, password, OTP, something like that. On the basis of that, you will design the UI, that how you can capture this information from the user. Yes or no? Yes or
Yes,
no?
yes, Pradeep.
Yes.
So now let me come to this part, and this, trust me, these whatever I'm telling you, that is very important whenever your experience is going to be increased, because now you are going more closer to the lead than manager, and then you will try to get interact with your architects also. When he is designing the architect, same time you have to design your test plans also. Okay, so now let me come back to this point. Why I'm telling you this thing, actually whenever you are designing your class, actually class is also designed in the same way like your database tables. Can you imagine, in your database, there is a table that is called employee. Yes or no? Employee contains the table, employee ID, name, salary, direction, just like a column. Yes or no?
Yes.
Then you have a, you can say, so I can give the example of bank. What will be the database structure of the bank? They should have the tables like, you can say, user account details. And it contains the table like user login is separate table, right? User credit card is a separate tables. Okay, now user, you can say your loan, that is a separate table, because these are the separate tables, and these separate tables are actually when designed in the application in your software development. First of all, for every table, they designed the same structure of the class. Are you getting my point? So actually the table is represented by the class in the software. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
And you can check it, you can check it whenever you will try, or you will get a chance to see the code structure of your, you can say, of your application. Maybe it is developed in Java, it is developed in C#, but you will try this similarity, very very common, that name of the classes is very close to the name of the database table, and the name of fields, name of the columns, name of the properties which is defined in your class, that is similar to the name of the columns in your database. So that is presenting a group. Is it okay?
Yes, Pradeep.
Yes.
Great. Now, so it means you have clear on this point that what is the purpose of class? Class is a group of object having same properties. Now we'll come to this point also, that why we should say it is a blueprint. We say blueprint because whenever you try to design a group, you are actually trying to simulate a group, but without the actual existence of the object. Can you use that group? No. I will give the example. Now tell me one thing. I will prepare a school. I will develop a school. I have created a building of the school. Okay, I've created, you can say, rooms in the school. I've defined this is class 12, this is class 11, this is third, this is fourth. But there is no student in my class. Can any government person come and audit the school, that school is running fine or not? Can they audit that class 10th is running fine? Yes or no? Are you getting my question?
Yes, Pradeep.
So
Yes.
can anybody audit that class 10th is running fine if the building is there, class is there, but no student is there?
No.
Oh,
No,
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 Pradeep.
because whenever somebody want to interact with the class 10th, they have to actually interact with the real person of that class, and that is called object. So objects are real, but class is just like a blueprint. Blueprint contains every information, but we cannot use the blueprint directly. We have to convert blueprint into the real object. I can give another example. If I will write a blueprint of the COVID vaccine on a paper, like paracetamol is there, zinc is there, calcium is there, so many compounds have written, and that's, I've given that this is the blueprint or the formula of the COVID vaccine. If you ate that paper, you can get rid of COVID?
No.
No, because that paper we also call the blue print also just like a white paper. White paper, blue print, these are just like a structure which is telling you that what will be the actual product, what will be the actual object, but it is not actual object. First of all, using a blueprint, you have to convert into the real object. So now you can take the example. I'm saying that this is my student group. The student group. But if you want to see that what type of property student have, how they can manipulate it, for that purpose I need a real student. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so I will again come to that point, but before that, let me cover another important topic of the Java, that is called data type. So till now we have learned what is class, and also we have learned it that why class is a, you can say, a blueprint here. So now you will see that I have defined the properties here. So let me try to compare with your badge. This is your badge. So you can assume that this badge is also presenting a group of students. So every student have the property name Aman, Ashu, Jagdish. These are the you can say students of my group, and they have the same property name. Everybody have the name property, right? But what is the difference for them? The value of the property. What is the value of the property? Name is a property, value is Aman, value is Ashu, value is Jagdish. So name is a property, age is a property, but the value is different for everybody. Like the age of Aman may be 22, and for Ashu the age is 23. So you are getting the point. What is the difference between the property and the value? Property means name, age, subject. These are the property, and how the one object is different from the other on the basis of their property values. Is it okay?
Yes.
So now we have the properties: student roll number, student name, and student school, and student age. So now the thing is that these are the property, how you can define the value of a property. If you want to define the value of a property, you have to take the help of a concept that is called data type. Data type means what type of data you can store in your property. And why it is important? Because we have so many type of data. Like you can say your roll number can be numeric, yes or no, like 56, 78, it can be.
Yes. Yes.
But same time, you know that nowadays it is a very, very fantasy that now the schools we are talking about, that schools are also giving the roll number on the base of alphanumeric, DPS 001. Yes or no? So they are using alphanumeric concept also. Yes or no? So now you have to tell your structure that your data is numeric or data is alphanumeric. Are you getting my point? That
Yes.
what type of data you want to store. So that's why Java introduced a concept that whenever you are defining a property, you have to tell in your structure or in your blueprint that what type of data you can store it. If you want to restrict only the numeric data should be stored here, you will mark as a data type int. Int means now you can store only the numeric data. If you want to see, let me show you. Int student roll number equal to 66. Are you getting any error and write number 5? No. If I will try to write something here, just see here, I want to write some alphanumeric property, something like that, DPS001. Are you getting the error on line number 5?
Yes.
Because you can say my property name is student roll number, but I have defined it that the value which I can store in this one, that will be int means numeric. And that's why it is giving the error. So that's why at the time of defining the structure of the class, you define the property and what type of data you want to store in that property, that you have to define. If you want to store this type of property, this is called alphanumeric, like character, alphabet, everything. In that case, the data type will be string, string. Are you getting my point? Now you can say error is gone.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the purpose of defining the data type. And you can say in few languages, like if you talk about the JavaScript, there is no concept of, you can say strict Java, you can say data type. They can define the data type just like a journal. You can store numeric, you can store a string, you can store character, you can store decimal without actually defining the data type. So at runtime, you are free to store any type of data. But in proper programming language, the concept is you can say strict data type, you can say static data type, like you are defining that now this roll number can be only numeric. Is it okay?
Yes.
So now in the same way, you have different type of database, and we will learn about the database one by one whenever it will come into the requirement. Roll number should be numeric. I'm just taking the example. Name should be alphanumeric string, yes or no?
Yes.
And school should be
String.
Yes. Now, student, if you talk about the age, yeah, in age you can say it can be it
Int.
definitely have, yeah, it should be int. But here I want to tell you it can be int. But I'm just trying to give another flavor of a data type. Like sometime the decimal is also have the value in the calculation. For example, if you are going to any school to take the admission for your kids, like on the initial stage, they are really concerned about that. That what is the age of the kid? If you say 3 years, no, they will ask you 3.1,
Hmm.
3.2, 3.3, because there is a rule for the government that it is the minimum age for the kids. Yes or no? So
Yes.
now in this case, what is the data type you can use so that it will
Float.
consider the decimal also? That is called float.
Good.
So that's why I'm saying that when the time will come, automatically I will tell you about the different type of data. Like you can say int is a data type to store the numeric, float is used to consider the numeric plus decimal also. String is used for storing the alphanumeric, big strings, big word, big sentences. That is used for. If you want to store the single character, like you can say sometimes you use the information in the single word. Like you can say that I want to store the information of a, you can say student gender. Is it okay? So you can say that we can store the information in, like you can say male, female, but sometimes you know that people usually prefer single words. M for male.
Mail.
So in that case, actually the purpose of taking this character type of data, like using a single word, actually you want to store the memory. Okay. So in that case, if you want to store the single character in your property, the data type is called, anybody know? CHAR, char. And
Char.
with the help of char, actually what you can do, you can only store the single character. It is not alphanumeric. It is only the single character. Any single character you can store it. So here again, I'm saying that so many type of data are there, but we will learn about the data type one by one. Here, this is not, that is my way of teaching that. I don't think about that you should take the data type as a separate topic and then you have to, whenever there is a need, then you will understand, oh, this time I need this type of data. So that's why I'm defining it. Is it okay?
Yes, Pradeep.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So now you can see you have learned about, you can say you have learned about the class, you can have learned about the properties, then you have learned about the data type. What are the data types here? Now you can see here your whole class is error free. Okay. Now let me remove these comments here. Okay. And let me remove this comment from here. I'm just keeping only one comment here.
Pradeep, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Uh, Character only store one
One
character.
one character, that is a, that's why if you want to store the memory, like you want to save the memory and you can actually save the information using a single character, then you should use the char. Because in terms of what is the difference between the char and a string is that a string can contains multiple number of characters, right? So the memory will be occupied by the string data type that will be very more than the char, because char can store only single character.
Single
Okay.
character.
Okay, in the same way, you can say sometime you will see that if you want to store the numeric, you can take the data type like int and you can take the data type like long also. So now what is the difference between the int and long? Both are used to store the numeric values, but the only difference is that that is also related to the real world. Let me give the funny example. Okay, now tell me, if this question is especially from the girls. I know that I maybe one or two girls are here, but that is very good example from the you can say kitchen. If you want to store the salt in your kitchen, what will be the size of your container? 5 kg or 1 kg? That is enough.
500 ml.
That is good, because we know that the consumption of salt is not so much. So that's why you always try to prefer a small container for that. Okay, some maybe somebody has given you as a gift. Okay, you can use this 5-liter container, 5 kg container for your salt. So actually it is a issue for you. Why? Because you are going to store only 500 grams there, but it is occupying the space of 5 kg. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why, and the same way, now somebody is saying that, okay, you want to store some flour and you can say flour or rice in your kitchen. Okay, you will take the container 500 gram or you will take the container of 5 kg.
5 kg.
Yes. Now, why reason is that you know that the consumption of flow and white, whatever that is very every day it is approx you can say 1 kg to 2 kg. So why I'm giving the example, whenever you are taking out container is just like a you can say data type. So how now you can try to simulate it. Container is just like a data type. If you want to store the data, then the type of data matters as well as the the size of the data, what type of data, what size of data you want to store it. If you want to store the small numeric number, you will go with int. If you want to go very, very less, then we have byte, when you have shorts, other type of numeric. If you want to go, then we have long. Then we have long. In the same way, if you want to store the big range of the decimal, the data type is called double. Are you getting my point? So it is very important that whenever you are deciding your data type, that should be clear that what will be the maximum size of the data you want to store it. And same thing you can check in your database. You have a properties like varchar. Yes or no?
Yes.
In the varchar, there is a bracket. In the bracket, you define the size like varchar 50, varchar 100, varchar you can say 200. Why we define? Because whenever you define a varchar property to store a numeric thing there, in that case, actually you're occupying a size of the memory in your database server. If you are saying that, okay, varchar 200, but every time you know that you are going to store the value of a field that is 50, every time you are at least wasting the memory for 150 characters. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So whenever you are taking the data type, very, very conscious. Now we know that as a tester, we are not really care about that. But you know that whenever developers just try to give the data type, their data type is similar to the data type of your database. Because this value, at least where it will go to save in the database. So if you take the data type here, just take the example. These are the bugs which come into the application. If you have taken the student name property in your application 200, but database has configured for 100, what will happen? You will send the 200 character data, but in the database it will not save, and this is called truncate. Have you ever faced this thing? No. Have you ever faced this issue? No. So that's why I'm saying that whenever you are learning about the class is a very sensitive topic. People usually what they do in the online session, they simply do file new class, give any name and start doing this. No, whenever whenever you are learning other concepts of Java, that is okay. But whenever you are especially learning what is class, everything should be clear. Class is a collection of object having similar property. Then we have a specific data type which can store the data in the property, and you have to concern about that what type of data, what size of data you want to store it. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Pradeep.
Now in the same way as you have defined the properties here, same you can define in your employee also, right? Like employee ID, for example, employee ID will be int. You can take any employee name, you can. And about the employee salary, you are not going to be miser. You will say, Pradeep, what is the biggest numeric value? What is the biggest? You will say, Pradeep, I know that we can store the salary with the int, but Pradeep, if you make it long, I will be more happy. Yes or no? So in the same way, if you are going to store it in the database, for that purpose, we call it big int,
No.
right? Long or big int, it depends on that you are using Oracle, you are using MySQL. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So now,
Yes.
now let me do one thing. Now I'm not going to take the example employee. So let me delete the employee, because you got the idea about the class, you got the idea about the data type. Okay, now I'm going to show you the second important thing is that is why we say that class is a blueprint. I've already told you. Now I will give the practical example. For that purpose, let me do one thing. Let me remove these three properties. Okay, you can create so many property, but whenever I try to explain, I don't want to say with lots of property. Okay, whatever I'm talking about the three property, that will be applicable for the rest of the property. So I'm taking the example of three property. Is it okay? Haji, is okay?
Yes.
Yes,
Pradeep.
Pradeep.
Great.
Yes.
So now you can say we have created a class student structure we have created. Now tell me how we can use it. It is just like a blueprint. You can't use it. It is just like a structure. I can create so many structure. If you want to use the structure, like you want to assign some value to one student, you want to assign some value to school, you want to fetch some data, you want to fetch some value, you want to make some operation, you need a real object. So now think about that, how I can create the real object from this blueprint for this class. And for that purpose, a concept comes into the picture that is called object creation. Object creation. Now for that thing, I will do one thing. This is my main first class. This is my first class. In the first class, I have a main method. I will show you that here how you can create a real object from the class. So if you want to create a real object of a class, How you can do, you use a syntax that is called new, and then you give the name of the class. Is it okay?
Come again, Pradeep.
Yeah. So if you want to create a real object from your class, for your class, you use a concept that is called object creation. And how you can create the object of a class? By using a keyword new, and then you write this thing, name of the class, and these two brackets here. Okay, so I will clear on that one also, that why you are making a, why you are just giving the name of the same name of the class while creating the object. I will give the reason about that also. Is it okay?
Yes, Pradeep.
Yes.
So now it is applicable for every class. Now again, I have created the employee class. Now you want to create the object of a employee class. What is the syntax for that? New
New
EMPLOY. Actually, you have to use the same thing, new, and then you have to write the name of the class, then this bracket, open and round, and close it. So it means if I want to create the object of my first class, currently I'm sitting in the my first class. If you want to create the object of this class also, same rule is that new first, my first class. Are you getting my point?
Yes, Pradeep. So one question.
Yeah.
If we want to call student plus, so everybody has new, then how can we understand which function I am calling, which object?
So that's why I'm saying that I will come to that point also, that I'm trying to tell you that whenever you want to create an object, the syntax is new student. So now currently I'm trying to create the object of one student, one employee, and one my first class. Let me give the example. I want to create the two object of a student class. So I'm going to write new, again, same thing. So how many objects will be created after it? Two.
Two.
Okay, now in the same way, I can create three, and I can create four, and so many, right? Because I told you that this is the way to creating the object. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now what is happening here, whenever you write the syntax, actually what is happening in the memory, that is very important. And trust me, you are learning with me, or you are learning with anybody, or you are going to teach someone, always try to keep one thing in your mind. Programming can be learned only in respect of memory. If somebody will try to give everything on your, you can say, Eclipse, that is not, you will not able to understand properly. Today I will show you that how you can understand the Java or any language easily with respect of memory. So I will show you the picture of the memory. Okay, so here you are creating the object new student. So three objects are created. Okay, so what will happen? Let me first of all show you that when this code runs, what happens in the memory. Is it okay?
Yes, Pradeep.
So let me open my weapon, this one, and let me do one thing. Let me copy this code also. So let me close it here. Let me put it here, and let me take the printer screen. And now let me go to the paintbrush. Okay, so here I will show you what is happening here. So for example, you can consider this is your memory. Is it okay? Can you consider this square is a memory?
Yes.
So now just see what happens. Actually, your program runs in a sequential manner. Okay, what happens that whenever you say that right click and say that run as Java application, what happens? First of all, it will come to the class which you are running, and it try to find out a function that is called public static void main. If your class do not contains this method, your class cannot be executed directly. You want to see it? Right click here, you are getting the option run as Java application. Yes or no? Are you getting this option directly in the student class? Are you getting this option?
No.
Because only the difference is the student class and the my first class. And even you can take the example of employee also. In the employee also, you are not getting the option for run as Java application, because if you want to run any class, if you want to start running your code, your class should contain the function public static void main. And what is the reason behind that? I will come after some session, because you have to understand the meaning of public static void main string, and that square symbol is known as array. So when you complete these all topics, then you understand why this function is needed and why this function is written in such a way. Okay, so now let me again come back to this one. This is your code, and I have created a memory so that I can show you. When the first of all, what will happen? The control will come to your in this function, and it will come to the line number 7. Where it will come? It come to the line number 7. Now the question is that, Pradeep, when I'm running this program, I'm not able to see any impact. You can see here. Let me run this program. You will not able to see any impact. because impact is happening in the memory. You are not able to see. Today, I'm going to show you what is happening in the memory. Just see what happens when the control comes to this line. Okay, so when control comes to this line, what happens? Actually, it do one thing. It goes to a proper place in your project. And what is that? You want to see? Press your control button and put your cursor on student. It is showing you the hand. Yes or no?
Yes.
And just tell me what is happening when I'm clicking on that. Same thing happened at runtime when you run the code. What is happening?
It's redirecting to the student class.
Very good. Whenever you are so same thing happen in case of the, you can say, project. When your project or when you run your class, same thing happen. Control comes to the line one by one. Okay, first of all, it will come to this line and control will go to the student class here. Whenever this line is, and now in the student class, it will check that how many properties are there. He will say that how many properties are there? 3 properties: student roll number, student name, and student school. So what it will do? What it will do in this line number 7 in the memory? First of all, it will create a object. Object means first of all, it will actually assign a memory. It will assign a memory. So I'm just presenting the memory with a oval. Don't say that in the interview that Pradeep has told me the memory is in the oval shape. I'm just taking the example. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes, Pradeep.
Okay, so otherwise you will say, Pradeep, I told them that memory, you can whole memory is the square and the object are in the oval shape or in the circle shape. Don't blame on me. So I'm just trying to make a difference. The square, or you can say rectangle, is the whole memory, and this circle, or you can say oval, is presenting a object. So when your control comes to here, control goes to the student class, it checks how many properties are there. 3. So now it actually first of all occupies a memory, a specific memory in the main memory, just like a circle, and defines 3 internal memory within it on the basis of number of properties. How many properties you have?
3.
3. So within this oval shape, actually it will define 3 internal memory within the object. And first will be for student roll number. And now you know that internally when it will define the memory, it also matters that what is the size of the memory. That is decided by the type of data. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
internally it means the whole size of the data. It means the whole size of the data, the whole size of the object, and the internal memory, it is totally decided by the size of the, you can say, property. We have first property, student roll number, and we can store the in data type. Second property is that student name, so we can store in the second one. So now the size of the second square or rectangle will be according to the size of string. Yes or no?
Yes.
And now it will go to the third one, and it will define this third block is used to store the student school name. And this thing will happen, only this thing will happen when the control will go to the line number 7. And when this thing is completed in the memory, control will come back to the end of the semicolon. Now the question is that is very important. What do you mean by semicolon in Java? What do you mean? Like in English, the purpose of a stop. What is the purpose of a stop in English language? To complete a sentence. Yes or no?
Yes.
So in Java, if you want to say that you want to complete a sentence and we call it a statement, then you use a semicolon. And the rule of the Java is that when your program runs, it actually executes program statement by statement. It will come to the statement, it will execute it, it will run the program in the memory. When this part will complete, then control will go to the next line or next statement. So a statement is presented by the semicolon. Is it okay?
Yes.
So now this thing is completed. It means when I told you that this thing will happen in the memory, control will come back to the semicolon here, and now it will go to the next line. So the code is same. Yes or no?
Yes.
So actually now impact will be same. Again, it will at line number 9, it will again go to the student and actually do the same process. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it means again it will go to the memory, it will create a, you can say, just like this circle, just like a object, and it will create now another object in the memory. Now somebody asked me the very, very beautiful question, Pradeep, you have created 2 objects, now you have suppose 3 object created. So now how we can make a distinguish here? Because in the memory, they are floating just like a balloon. Yes or no? and currently everything is same. Currently everything is a same because they are the object. So how we can identify that which is my first object, which is my second object? Yes or no?
Right.
So that's why whenever you are writing this line of code, at the same time, before completing the statement, you add one line of code here, one more statement here, and that is called a reference. What is reference? You just give name a reference like S1. You can give any name. Okay, it depends on you. It is custom. So I'm just giving a name S1, and this before the name of the S1. S1 is called the reference, and before the S1, you give a type of the class. Means which type of reference it is. S1 is used to point a student object. S1 is used to point the student object. So now you will see what has happened. If this line is written, what will be the code? Control will come to the line number 7. First of all, it is the rule of the BODMAS also. Which type is solved first? Right side. पहले कौन सा solve होता है? Which side is solved? Right side things are solved. Then they are assigned to the left side. Yes or no? Maybe you have learned in the maths. A equal to 2. B equal to 3. So first of all, 3 will be there. Then it will be stored in the A. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now just see the impact here. Again, simple. The things will do. Control will go to the student class. It will create the object, something like this one. But your statement is not completed. This thing has happened. Before coming to the end of the semicolon, it will create a reference S1 and will point to the object in the memory, something like this. Just see this time. Only the difference is that it will create a reference, something like that, S1. And S1 will point to the first object. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Haji, yes or no? Everybody is getting?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So now it means it is
Yeah.
very important whenever you are creating an object, but in the interview, don't say that S1 is an object. S1 is not an object. S1 is a reference. Actual object is created in the memory. Memory is created in the, object is created in the memory, but we can point the object with the help of reference. It is simple. It is similar way, just like a funny example. Now take the example. I will say that memory is just like a room. Memory is just like a room. And you are just like a program. You are just like a program. If I will say you that I'm giving a balloon of a blue color with same volume, with same color, with same size, and I will say that, can you throw less tight and just throw in the room one balloon, then second balloon, and then third balloon. And I will say, can you pinch or burst the second balloon? Can you pinch it without entering into the room? Can you burst it?
No.
Now, reason is that same thing, because first thing is that I told you are a program and room is just like a memory and balloon are just like a object. You are just creating the balloons and throwing in the memory in the room. They are floating. So you don't have any point to contact them, right? And it is a memory, so you can't enter it. So the best way is that if I told you that I'm going to give the assignment that you have to bunch it, you have to burst it in the future, you will simply do a clever thing. Pradeep, whenever you will give me a balloon, first of all, I will tie a thread with one side of the balloon and second side with my one of my finger. Yes or no? Then second balloon, tie one side of the balloon with the thread and second with my finger. And what is the parameter? Just throw in the room. Doesn't matter. I will say, can you burst the first balloon? You will simply do one thing. Twist your first finger and balloon will come to you. Yes or no?
Yes.
So balloon is just like this object, which you cannot handle it directly. But if you want to contact with balloon, if you want to make some operation, you have to take the help of S1. S1 is just like a thread, or you can say S1 is just like a finger, which is actually manipulating the object. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
We can
So-
say S1 is a reference variable, right?
Yes, that's why I'm saying that S1 is a reference variable, which is actually pointing the object in the memory because we can't see the object. Okay, so if you want to make some operations of the object, you have to take the help of your reference S1. So always remind S1 is your finger, balloon is your object, and that thread which is connecting, that is the equal. That is the equal because that is connecting your finger to a particular balloon. Is it okay? And when this equal to connection is break, again your balloon will start floating in the memory without any reference. And when any balloon is floating in the memory without any reference, then automatically after some time it lost. And this concept in Java is known as automatic garbage collection. Okay, but we will talk about in the future. But this thing is clear, what is object and what is reference?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
It
Pradeep.
means it is very important that whenever you are creating an object Always you will say that mostly people try to create the reference. So I'm creating another reference here, S1 and S2. Now you can say two objects are in the memory, but for me, object who is presenting the object, S1 and S2, that is called reference variable. Is it okay? So now what will be the code? Two objects in the memory and we have two reference variable like S1 and S2. Can I say that we can create so many objects in this way? Yes or no?
Yes, we can create.
Yes. Now, with the help of this S1 and S2, now we can present two objects different. Currently, both the objects are same. Yes or no? Because both the objects have the properties student roll number, name, school, and but all the properties are blank. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now we can say that if you want to assign some property to a particular object, you can assign it, but you have to take the help of reference. Now you say that if I will say S1 is a reference, but when I say S1 dot, you will say that every property which is available in the class, you can handle with the help of reference. You will see that every property will be visible here. It is visible, yes or no? Student name is here. Roll number is here, school name. So actually you can say object is in the memory. Whatever is, you can say, available in the object, that will be available to the reference to operate on. Is it okay?
Yes.
So now I'm going to present the first object for my first student. Now, let me take the example of first student, Ashu. Okay, so Ashu has given me the first answer. Ashu, I will remind it that when I was trying to motivate, give me the some answer, you try to give the answer first. So Ashu, okay, ASHU, AS. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. The wrong spelling. ASHU. So I'm trying to present S1 with the Ashu. So here I've given the Ashu. Actually, it should be the property of name. So let me do one thing. Let me cut it from here. You can see that if I'm trying to do something wrong, Java will interrupt me. Roll number, I'm just giving 4. Is it okay?
Yes.
Now I want to assign some name property S1.name. So property is same. For S1, the property is name, but here the value is Ashu. Then I say S1 dot school name. The property name is a school name. Let me give the value. So I'm giving the value, for example, ABC. This is the school name. So in the same way, S2, let me write for S2. S2 dot. Properties are same, yes or no? Because S1 and S2 both are presenting the object of a student class. Properties are same, but you can assign different type of values. Yes or no?
Yes.
So I can say 5. S2 dot name. Let me present. Okay, let me prefer one boy, one girl. So we have one girl, two girl. I think we have only one girl. Shikha. No, Dipali is also there, right? Shikha. Okay, I will take the example of Sikha because Sikha is the name of my sister. Okay. So this is student name equal to Sikha, and then I will say S2 dot school name. So currently I'm doing one thing. I'm just taking the example that both are presenting to different school. So that's why I'm taking the property for a school name is also different. PQR. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So now I will show you that how this code is going to be executed in the, again, in the, you can say in your memory. Again, this is very important. See it. When I'm writing this code, I've told you, it will go to the memory. It will create the object, something like this. Yes or no? And then it will create a reference S1. So this line is completed. Control will come to the line number 8. Now what 8.1 is saying? S1 dot roll number means try to go to that location where S1 roll number is saved. So where it will go? It will go to the first object student roll number or second one? Guys, speak up.
First.
Because why it will go? Because properties are same, but it is actually taking the help of reference. S1 means it has to go to the memory of S1 roll number. So it will definitely go to this location and will save the 4. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, here it will go S1 dot student name Ashu. Where it will go? First object.
First object.
Now I'm going to show you one thing that why people are confused. Reason is that, just see, I'm going to make a little bit modification in my program. If I'm going to write this code, Control X here, and let me put it here. What will be the difference in the program? Anybody can guess?
So now we can clearly understand S2 and S1.
we can simply say that now only the difference in the execution of program is that first a blank object will be created S1, second blank object will be created, and then we are assigning the value for S1 and S2. But in previous case, what is happening? First blank object is created, then it will assign the property, and then it will go for the creation of next object. So sequence matters. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because code will run from here, this line, then another line, this line, this line. So don't say that when in the current scenario, it will create the blank object, then it will assign the property one by one, and then we'll go to the 12, it will create another object. But when I'm writing this line of code, it means it will create first blank object S1, second blank object S2, then it is assigning the property for S1. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So why I'm trying to give you this idea, because let me do one thing. Let me control like this code from here and let me put it here. So now tell me one thing. Is there any problem in the sequence? No,
No.
because it doesn't matter what is the sequence. Reason is that you have a pointer S1 and S2. Wherever you want to operate on first object, you are taking the help of S1. So what it will do? First of all, if you try to execute program again, it will create two objects. S1 roll number. Where 4 will be saved? S1 roll number.
S1.
Whereas Ashu will be saved,
S1.
S1.
and where Sikha will be solved.
S2.
S2.
Yes, it doesn't matter that you are writing the code S1 before, S2 before, S1 after, S2 before. It totally depends on that, guys, because you have a reference. At any point of time, you are going and you are referring. We have to save, but S2. So it will go to the second one. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now let me again make it program very, very simple. I will tell you every scenario. Don't worry about that. This is again simple scenario. So it means in the same way, when I will run this program, S1 dot school name, it will go to the first one.
First one.
Very good. When you are speaking, I'm really happy that you are acknowledging. 5 will go to the
Second.
excellent. The person who keep on saying that, I really happy because I love offline sessions. But that is due to COVID. I'm not taking. Otherwise, I take the session of 50 and 60 people together. That is the bad luck that you can say COVID has just what you will say. Okay, just leave it bad memories. Okay, so student for number 5, then student in Sikha, and now we have PQR. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So in this way, you are going to save the memory, save the data. Now your program is completed. So it means when this run, I will run the program. You can see the impact in the memory. Yes or no?
Yes, Pradeep.
Yes.
Now, whenever you want to assign some property, you use the code S1 roll number equal to means you are assigning some property. And whenever you want to read some property, opposite of that, instead of saving some data, you want to retrieve some data, you simply write code S1 dot roll number means you are retrieving the data of roll number. You are retrieving the data for roll number. So it will return the value what is stored in the S1 roll number. But now what you want to do it for it, you have to store it somewhere or you want to print it, because you cannot write something like that. Java is giving the error because Java do not know what you want to do with this value. Yes or no? At least try to save it, try to print it. So that's why it is giving the error. Otherwise, if I'm going to put under my SOP, I'm going to pass it. So it means you want to print the value of S1 roll number. Is it okay?
Yes. Pradeep.
Yes.
So now let me do one thing you can understand easily. That's why I'm saying that S1 roll number. That's one. Okay. And now let me, what it will do? If I run this program, what will do? When
It
the
will
control will,
print full.
yes. So what will happen? Just simply understand. I told you about the line number 15. When the control will come to the line number 17, again, the rule of BODMOS. First of all, it will solve the bracket. So in the bracket, it will do one thing. S1 roll number, which is written in the double quotes, and it will return the value from the roll number. So actually it will print S1 roll number colon 4. Yes
4.
or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I'm going to write it S1 dot, let me write name. And here I have to write, what do you have to write here? Student dot
Student name.
Very
Student name.
student name. Yes, student name. Very good. So let me write it again for what error I've done. I've done some error here.
It's
But
C
yeah,
after
C.
line number 17.
Oh,
C.
my bad. Wow, you guys have very sharp eyes. Wow. But I'm not going to pay for my faults. Okay. This is one-way communication. You can pay fee to me. I am not going to pay to you. Okay. So school, and here you can write student school. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now same thing I'm going to do for my S2. So for that purpose, let me simply print a line here so that I can show you the separation between the two printings. So I'm just printing dash dash dash, and let me this one. Okay. And now let me print the values for S2. So again, I'm also just like a developer. So I have also bad habit to make a copy paste. Okay. So you can make this habit also, but not right now. When you will good enough, then you try. Otherwise, try to write the code by your own, because you do not
But
know.
it saves you time, right?
Because you do not know, whenever you are not able to find the error, you have made a copy paste. Like for example, I
Right.
made it, but I just forget to change the S2 to S1, and I'm saying that why it is giving the value of same for S1 S2. So at the
You will
time of
get-
copying paste, you have to make sure you are proper attention, right? Okay. So now if I'm going to run this code, what will be the output? Everybody know that. What will be the output?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the output. Now tell me one thing only. Now I'm going to play with you guys so that you can understand concept. If I'm going to write control X, this code, control X here and paste it here, what will be the difference in the output?
Sequence change only.
Only
Simple,
sequence
right.
change, because it doesn't matter. We are trying to fetch the value from S2 first or S1. It is always going to the memory. Only matters that the sequence of printing will be changed. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So this, why I'm saying that this is important, because my another topic is totally related to the sequence, that it can confuse you. Okay, so now we have learned this. This is your class student, and in this we have properties and how you can create the object, how you can assign the value, and how you can read the value. Is it okay?
Yes.
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 Currently I'm printing the value. If you want to store this value in some other, you can say you want to use this values for other calculation, you can use it. For example, I know that this is not a valid program, but I want to give you a scenario. Can you give me the sum of roll numbers of both the persons? So what you can do, S1 dot student roll number, yes or no,
Yes.
plus S2 dot,
Student roll number.
so it will make a sum, and you have to store in a variable. I told you what you want to do with your value. You want to print it, you want to store it. At least you have to do one thing. So for that purpose, I need a variable. Whenever means just like a container to store the value. I'm saying that I'm just giving the name of my variable, this one. I'm saying that S1 dot, and I'm going to print semicolon. My statement is completed. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I'm going to write it here, sum. So this is the hard coded value sum. Whenever I'm writing in double quotes, that is called hard coded value. And if you want to print any variable, you write plus and sum. So what it will do, it will give the answer.
No.
No.
Right.
No.
Oh, actually, you told
Yeah,
me
no, no.
you. Okay, again, I'm typing SUN, SUM. But you
No.
are, I surprised you told me in the Hindi, no. So let me run it. So you are getting the sum 9, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So now you are clear on that. If you want to print the value, you can pass in the SOP. And if you want to make a calculation, you can do the calculation and store in a variable. Okay. So I will come to that point also, that whenever you are declaring a variable here, and whenever you are declaring at this location, what is the difference? Because here you are declaring a variable or property in a function. This is a function, and here you are declaring the variable or property at a class level. So what is the difference? I will come to that point also. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me one thing. You are just enjoying the session, or it is little bit boring for you?
Enjoying.
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 Pradeep.
Great. So now let me do one thing. Now I'm going to make some changes in my class. And what is the changes here? Just see here. This is a student roll number. So I have defined the property, and just before the property, I have defined the data type. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now I'm going to make a change in my structure. Dekho, I'm going to change the structure of my blueprint. कैसे change करेंगे? For example, it is something like funny example. Initially, COVID vaccine was come into the picture. Then they have tried the vaccine and they thought, oh, it is not valid for the, you can say, for season 2. I'm using season 2. You can say the variant 2. So in that case, they have modified the structure of that vaccine. So same thing, I'm trying to modify my structure, my blueprint of the class. I'm using a keyword here, static. Now anybody can tell me, I made the structure of my class using the keyword static. Anybody, I know that if you're learning the Java first time, maybe you are not able to give the answer. But can you tell me, when I have made it static, have you seen any changes in my program? Just see, focus in that. Here, this is the program. Are you able to see any change? Any change which you can notice? Static and Control S.
And line number 10 and
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, 15.
Yes, at line number 10 and 15, we got a alert, not error. We got a alert.
Alert.
Alert means it is not recommended, but we can proceed. Okay, so first of all, for the timing, let ignore it. I will tell you why this alert is coming here. But now my next question, can you tell me when I made it static? This question is from all the person who have learned the Java previously, because that is the very, very basic question of the Java. And it's my favorite question of the interview. And trust me, 90%, not 90, 95% persons have given me the wrong answer for that. So now question from you. If I'm going to run this program, only I've changed it here. Nothing I have changed in my this one. What will be the output? Try. You want to drink dew? डर के आगे जीत है. Next time, take a dew. I'm not promoting dew. Don't worry. I have not taken any money from them, but I'm just making a fun. You can take the dew and डर के आगे जीत है. I'm going to run it.
Can you please repeat the question?
My question is that I have just added one keyword static in my student property, in my student structure. Now, if I'm going to run this program, is there any difference in the output, or output will be same?
Output will same.
Output will be same.
Okay, and now guys are going to help me in maintaining my record that 95% people have given me the wrong answer. So let me run it and see that. Are you able to see any difference?
Yes.
What is the difference you noticed?
School name is same for both.
His school name is same.
Yeah.
Now this, trust me, and this is the thing why people confuse it. Reason is that you have learned so many times. Maybe you have learned by your own. Maybe you have mentor you have told you. Maybe you have a teacher told you. But that common thing why you forget, because you have not understand in terms of memory. Trust me, today onwards I can bet on that. You will never forget. I can bet on that, because I'm going to tell you this thing, that why it is happening and why it is giving the output in this way from the memory. So now let me again come back here. I have created, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I think whenever we assign the static keyword in front of any data type, that means we can't change. So that's
Again, you have given me the wrong answer. But don't, when I'm saying don't take it negative, because we are brothers and sisters. Okay. So don't take it negative. It is so actually you can say second main mistake people do, that they use a wrong term. Static means you are saying that do not change. Tell me, if I cannot change, how you are getting this value? How you are getting this value? At line number 7, what was the value of school?
ABC.
ABC.
And what was the value at line number 15?
PQR.
PQR.
It means my program is not giving any error. It means when program was running at line number 10, the value of S1 was ABC. Yes or no?
Yes.
When the program come to the line number 15, the value of S2 roll number was PQ. But when the control will come to the line number 19, the value of S1 school becomes PQR instead of ABC. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it means this is the wrong thing. Static doesn't mean do not change. Today onwards, just use single term. Just use a single term, and that is called SHARD. What do you mean by static?
Shared.
And this question was asked in the interview of Oracle. And trust me, people are giving the multiple answers. This one. They always want to hear the precise answer. And trust me, simple use one word. I am bet on that. They are not going to ask you anything. If you are going to say that, static means shared. Static means
Shared.
now let the program as it is, and let me show you that whenever you are putting a static keyword here, what happens in the memory. So I'm going to write I'll show you the program execution from memory perspective. Let me do one thing. Let it as it is. Let me open my weapon, this one. And again, I will do the same thing here. Let me do one thing. Let me print a screen and let me go to here. Okay, let me keep it here so that I can show easily. I need a space, proper space at the right side. Print a screen and let me go to here. This is your memory. Arey bol do bhai, this is your memory.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, again, follow the same rule. Control will come to the line number 7. It will go to the, where it will go? Student
7.
class.
Student.
Now
Yes.
it will again check how many properties are there. 3 properties are there, but this time it will notice a specific thing. True properties, student roll number and student name do not contain the static keyword, but the school name property contains a static keyword. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So what will be the
Yes.
impact in the memory? It will do one thing. First of all, it will create a object for the memory, the oval shape. But for the properties which are defined without the static keyword, it will allocate the memory within the object. And the property which is defined as a static, it will provide the memory outside the object in the shared location. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
now
sir.
just see what will happen. Let me put the property name so that you can find it easily. Haji, I'm saying that whenever when it will come to the property student school, it will say that, oh, static keyword is there. It means this property is not a property of a specific object. This is a shared property among all objects. So for student school name, it will allocate the memory outside the object at the shared location, which can be shared by every object. Is it okay? Accessible by every object. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So now let me run this thing. Let me put it here and let me put here student roll number within the memory, because no static keyword. Student name within the memory because no static keyword. And the third thing is that school. It is shared. Static means shared. So it will allocate the memory outside the object at a shared location. Is it okay?
Yes.
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 Now this part is completed. It will say that, oh, S1 is the reference. Now just see how S1 is going to be work. This is S1. So S1 will point to this object. From this object, whenever it needs student name, it will go here. It needs student school name, it will go here. And whenever it needs student school name, it will go here.
Here.
Is it okay?
Yes.
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 And now assign the simple rule, whatever the flow is that. Student roll number 4, where it will save the value?
Inside memory.
Inside memory for
Yes, sir.
first one. That's one. Maybe you have created, suppose take the example, you have created 2. In that case also it will work. But let me give you the example of this one. 4. Right?
Yes.
Then we have Ashu. Let me write it by own. ASHU. And third thing is school name. So it is pointing here. So it will come here ABC. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is done. Code is done. Control will come to the line number 12. Again, it will create the object. Same thing do. It will go to the memory. How many properties are there?
3.
3.
So again, it will do the same thing. It will create the object, something like this. Now, again, the same rule. How many properties are without static keyword 2? So it will create 2 blocks within the memory. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Now it will come to the third property. Oh, it is static. It means it is shared. Now it will check. Oh, it is static. Maybe any object is created before it and it is already allocated. Yes or no? Because it is a shared. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So in this case, first of all, it will check whether any shared property is created for student school. Yes or no? If it is created,
Yes.
it will
Yes.
point to that. If it is not created, it will create first
Oh.
time. Like
Yeah.
we have seen in case of S1. Now just see what will happen. Simple thing. S2 object will be created. Now S2 will point in the same way. Just see here how S2 will point to this object. For student roll number, it will go here. For student name, it will go here. And for student school name, it will go shared one. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
And I can prove this thing. if I am not going to write these line of code, just see here. Let me comment this code. I have created the S2 object, but I have assigned any property.
No.
Haji, in my program, I assigned any property to S2.
No.
No.
But do you think, according to your program, if S2 will try to fetch the value for school, he should get the value? What?
From
ABC.
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 Because you have not assigned the value for S2, but already school name is shared. So for S2, he will fetch the value ABC. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So now just see here. I am not assigning any value here, but I'm printing S1, S2. For S1, it will print all the values. For S2, it will print the default values or null, but school name, it will print
ABC.
ABC.
yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Now let me control Z so that I can show you this thing. If it is now running this program, now you can tell me the execution. I have shown you this thing is happening. When the control will come to here, where 5 will be saved?
S2. S2 memory.
So,
S2, yani it means it will come to here. Where
5.
it is going to save the Shikha.
S2.
S2 memory. Okay.
Now it will come to the PQR. Where it will go to save the PQR?
It will replace ABC.
Excellent. Now because it is going to point the same, it will actually overwrite PQR. Now
How
tell
it
me,
is override?
sorry?
How it is override?
Because whenever you are writing the code s2.school, directly you are assigning something. It is going to override. Override because you are not saying that whatever is previously stored, let it be there and add my value. You are, whenever you are saying equal to, it is going to replace. And you can see very easily, if I'm writing a code here, you can tell me in any programming language, if I'm writing a equal to 4, in the next line, I'm writing a equal to 3. What will be the value of a after line number 9? It will be 7 or 3.
3.
3.
Because whenever you are writing a line of code a equal to, it is override. Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you want to save the value, actually you have to write a code a equal to a plus 3. Then it will say means, first of all, read the value for the a from the memory, then add 7 in it, and again assign the in the same location. Yes or no?
Yes.
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 I hope your doubt is cleared.
Yes.
Great. Now let me come back and see that. Now, if whenever I'm writing s2.school name equal to PQR, it will overwrite. Now you can tell me in the latest condition, when the control will go above line number 15, at that time, what is the value of S1? That is different. S2 is different, but the school name is same. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is the reason when the control will come to here, the value of S1 will become PQR, the value of S2 school name become PQR. Rest of the two values are different. You can see here. Getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
And now the testing time for you, because today is the first session and we have a gap of 5 days. So I'm not going to cover so many things, but let me play and you will enjoy it. Let me do one thing. If I'm going to cut this code from here, just here, let me cut this code from here, Control X, and put it here. And be calm while giving the answer. Control X. Can you tell me the output of this program? Very calmly think about that. I've told you what is the sequence.
ABC.
School name will be ABC.
It means clapping for me. I'm teaching well. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you know that simple. When the control will come to the line number 12, you assign the value PQR. But after that, S1 comes to the picture and he assigned the value ABC, and it is the shared location. So that's why after S1, anybody will try to access this memory. Even I'm going to create a new object, S3. For that also, the value of a school will be ABC. Yes or no? So now let me make it little bit again assignment. Simple assignment. This one. Now I'm going to do one thing. Let me cut this code. Again, things very wisely. Control X. What will be the output? Dhyan say
First
very
ABC, दूसरा PQR.
Very good. Simple. Actually, you know that in the memory they are shared, but it really matters when you are writing the value and whenever you reading. When you ask at line number 10, the value of S1 school name was ABC. Or
ABC.
you can say not S1, the shared memory of a school was ABC. Then
ABC.
you read the value. When you read the value at that moment, the value of a school was ABC. Then new object created and you change the value. So actually at this point of time, the value school name is PQR. If we are going to write S1 dot school name or S2, the value will be PQR, but we are only printing the value S2. That's why we are getting it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If we try to write this line of code again after this line, same will give the answer PQR. Yes or no?
Correct.
Yes, correct.
So it matters. So it matters whenever you are reading the value, whenever writing the value. It is something like that. What happens that you bring some, I always try to keep some very, very funny and small examples, but they are really good. You can say, you can take the example. You bought a box of chocolates in your house. Okay. You have seen, okay, 10 chocolates are there. You put the chocolates in your fridge. Okay. And I'm taking the example. Your kids are, you can say, they really love the chocolate. They go and take the few chocolates from there. According to you have 10 chocolates there. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
And when your wife will go to the fridge, she will open the fridge and she will ask to you, how many chocolates are there? You will give the answer 2. She will say, no, it contains 7. Why? Because it matters that when you have checked it, at that time value was different. And when your wife checked the box, that time value was different because the box was shared. You, your wife and kids, everybody was taking the chocolate from that box. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So static means shared. And now other example, you come to your house, you bring 3 boxes of chocolate, one for you, one for your wife, and one for kids. Okay, now you put the boxes and you say that this is the box for my kid, this is the box for my wife, and this is for my own. So now your kids have taken 2 chocolates from his box. What will the answer for your wife? How many chocolates are there in box? 10. Because boxes are separate. Yes or no?
Yes.
So same thing here. Whenever you are using a static property, this is called shared among all the objects, among your all family members. Like you bring your TV. I'm talking about the middle class. In the middle class, we bring the TV as a shared. In high class, we bring the TV as a non-static. Every person in every person room, we have a separate TV. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So husband will watch the cricket. So wife has to see the cricket. And if the wife is watching the drama, husband have to watch it. So now I hope you got the difference between the static mean shared and we usually use the term whenever you are using static, we called it static property. And whenever we are not using, to make it easy, we simply say that non-static. We say it non-static. Is it okay?
Yes.
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 And now we use some specific terminology for this one. Whenever you are using a property without a static keyword, we call it instance property. What we call it?
Instant property.
You can say that instant property, you can say object property. These are the several synonyms for that. Instant property, object property. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
And wherever you have used the keyword with your instance property, it becomes class property. Class mean shared among objects. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
And now you will see here when the structure should use the shared property, when you want to make sure that this property should be shared by among our objects. So that's why in my example, I've taken the example of a school name. If I want to create a structure or blueprint for a specific school, for every student, the school name should be same. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that's why I make it a static, so that any school, anybody, for every student, the school name will be same. But there is a drawback, not in terms of static. Actually, I'm just trying to create a base for telling you about a small topic. I'm trying to create a base. Do you think for a school, in the school, we are creating a structure for a school, but any student can change the name? Do you think that you will give a right in your school that any student can change your name? You have
No.
just created a school name on your wife. Okay, Pratibha Public School. And now any student saying that Chintu Public School, you'd never like it. Yes or no?
Yes.
So you will try to make a way. Oh, every student can use the name. They can refer the username, but nobody can change it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
And in that case, we use a keyword that is called FINAL. And whenever I'm going to use this one, you will see that in your student class, you are getting the error. Yes or no? And in the same way, you are getting the error in my first class also. You are getting the error.
Yes.
Because what happens whenever using the final, whenever you are using the final keyword, it means whatever memory is assigned to you, that is logged. That is,
Log.
now think about that. If this structure was placed, why it is giving the error? For the time being, you can assume that this is not giving the error. So what will be the impact? Why Java is stopping it? Just see here. It is static and final. So when the control will come to here, it will make a shared memory. Yes or no?
Yes.
And the
Yes.
same time, because it is final, so it will make a lock on it. Getting my point?
Yes.
At
Yes.
the time of creating, it will make a lock on it. Now just think about that. You have created a memory. Initial level, you have not saved anything in it and you have locked it. Do you think it is useful or it is just wasting of memory?
Wasting of memory.
Wasting on.
It is something like that. My favorite example, kitchen. You bought some container, empty container, and your wife said that try to put something in it. Once you are not putting it and you have put the container in the kitchen, now I will not allow to put anything in it. So what will happen? This container will always be blank and it is going to take the space in the kitchen. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it is better than that. At least when you was storing that container in the kitchen, at least you can put something in it. At least you can utilize the space. So that's why Java is saying that, you are defining a property, a memory as a final, and you are not storing it. At least at the time, of defining, you can store any default value. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that's why it is saying that please assign some value. Value assigned at the time of blueprint. Now tell me, array is gone from here.
Yes.
So what will happen now? When the structure will be created, by default, the value of a school name will be, let's make automation easy and nobody can change it. That's why in the program, what you are getting this time, you are getting the error or alert.
Error.
Error. And I'm going to put the cursor here. What you are getting here, can you read the message for me? Oh, why it is not giving the error? Okay, now let me put the cursor here.
No, it is not coming.
Okay, let me check. Why? Maybe the highlight is here. So let me put the cursor here. Yeah. What is the message? Error message. Don't go to the solution.
Okay.
The final,
field or student cannot assign.
it means it is saying that you cannot manipulate the value of a school. Yes or no?
Okay.
Yes.
It means this line is invalid. So you cannot write this line. So let me comment this line. What will happen?
Now
Your
it will get the value LMEI.
Yes, clapping for you. You guys are awesome. So now you can say every student can use it, but nobody can change it. Yes or no?
Yes.
And whenever you are using a keyword final in your class, now this property called constant. क्या बोलते हैं?
Constant. Pradeep,
Constant.
Yes.
again S1 by printing 2 times.
Son, because I have written this line 2 times, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine, fine.
This. Okay. Rest of the things are clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Now let me bind the session by giving just last, you can say few things. This is called instance property without a static keyword. Whenever you are using a static keyword, this is called class property. And whenever you are using the final, that becomes class constant. Means a property which is shared, but nobody can change it. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So when,
Yes.
हाँ जी
When-
बताइए.
Whenever we assign the final static, then you said a waste of memory.
A waste of, actually it is not waste of, at least you are reading it. Are you getting my point? Waste of memory is that whenever you are not putting any value here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So whenever you are not putting any value, then it is a waste of thing, right? Because it is something like that. You can take the example in your school, you have just created a big board for your school name, but you are making it blank. Yes or no? So why you are putting the holding, or why you are making a board for there if you don't want to put some value? Because always it will be a blank. Yes or no? So whenever you are putting a board for the school, at least put some value, the name of the school. Nobody can change it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So now here the thing is that whenever you are defining any these type of you can say property within the class, but outside the function, something like that, you can say this function, main function, I have not given the example, but the same function can be in the same class also, but that is meaningless. Now you can see this is defined, these variables, you can say we call it variables also. Student roll number, student name, school name, these are called variables also, but they are defined at the class level. So that's why we call it object property, instance property, or class property. Is it okay? And whenever you are declaring the same thing within the class, but also within a function, we call it local variable. What we call it?
Local variable.
So only the difference is that if you are defining a property here within the class structure, not within any function. If you are defining anything directly in the class, that becomes the part of the class, like property, instance property, class property. But whenever you are defining any same concept variable within a function, it is called local variable. What we call it?
Local variable.
So you will see that mostly properties are used to define the structure of the class, and local variables are used to make some calculations. Like you can say, here I have created a local variable few times back, sum. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this thing is clear, and I hope you enjoy the session. In the next week, we are going to learn few new things, and also I will update on the WhatsApp group that what we are going to cover tomorrow. But now the thing is that the assignment is that you have to create a class for me. I'm going to put the assignment in the WhatsApp also. You have to create a proper class student for me. You have to define few properties, and then you have to create objects, 2 objects, and everything which I have told you. You have to show me in the WhatsApp group. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Just one thing.
Yeah,
So
please.
it's mandatory to use the static keyword with final.
No, it is not mandatory. Whenever you are using, it becomes the class constant. You can do one thing also. You can use the final keyword with non-static property also. Okay, but you will see that whenever I'm using it, the meaning will be changed. The meaning will be changed. It is called class constant. We called it instance constant. What we call it?
Instance.
But I will tell you, whenever you are using the final keyword with the instant property, you have to be very, very, you can say, conscious about that. Reason is that if you are using in the wrong way, actually still you will waste the memory. Okay, so I will tell you what is the use of final with instance property.
प्रदीप तब हम बोल सकते हैं जब हम फाइनल लगाएंगे ना कि do not change the value.
Do not change. Yes, final means do not change the value. देखो अपने आप define करो. It is a property.
Yes.
Static means shared.
Shared.
Then I say final means shared and nobody can change it. Is it okay?
Yes.
This one. And if I'm using the static final here, somebody asked me, it means a property not shared but nobody can change it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Simple. And what is the case for that? We will discuss when we will cover a topic that is called constructor. Is it okay?
Yes.
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 So in the next session, we are going to cover a very, very important topic that is the heart of the Java. And trust me, if you are comfortable on that topic, that is called functions or methods. If you are comfortable on that, trust me, Selenium is just like using the functions, inbuilt functions properly. And if you know that how you can call the function, how you can use the function, how you can store the data in the function, then mainly part of the Selenium, you will learn it easy. I hope you are getting my point.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why my target is to make you comfortable in the Java in 1 and 1.5 months. Then you will see that once you are comfortable, you can learn the rest assured also. Okay. Is it okay?
Yes.
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 Let me stop the recording here.